Hey, shalom, shalom. All right. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakorash. Hey, double honors unto my apostles and others, a great millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing his word in truth and in all sincerity. Shalom. So, back at it again with another stream lesson, you know, and as the title says, word on the streets is shelves could be empty in the next few weeks. You know, that's what they're saying. You know, of course, time will show, time will tell, but you know, this is what is being pushed now. So as you can see from this picture on the thumbnail, it's basically a picture of the port of Los Angeles, where which is the busiest port. I want to say they say, let's see, let's look it up. Port of Los Angeles. Right. So it's, again, the Port of Los Angeles is basically empty, you know. Let's see. Yes, actually. So yes, the Port of Los Angeles is the busiest container port in the Western Hemisphere and has been the busiest in the United States for many years. All right, it is a major gateway for international trade and handles a significant portion of U.S. seaborne imports and exports. All right, and it says in 2023, the port moved 8.6 million 20-foot equivalent units. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a lot, you know. But number one, the point of it is that this is the busiest port, excuse me, not one of, but the busiest in America and one of the biggest in the world. And there, let's see, some of the articles. This was 3 hours ago from CNBC, and it says, Port of Los Angeles says shipping volume will plummet 35% next week as China tariffs start to bite. So again, these tariffs, you know, when you're dealing with economics, currency is money. You know, it deals with the flow. You can't disrupt flows and think that it's just going to be normal a couple of days later. That's just not how that works, you know. So again, all of these events, we might not as consumers feel the effects of these tariffs until, as they're saying, in the next few weeks. By the summer, they're predicting, you know, that by the summertime you could very well see a lot of empty shelves. A lot of shelves are already empty. All right. So now let me get some scriptures. We'll get to this, but the focus is these scriptures. Let's go to, we're going to get first. We're going to go to my favorite. Let's go to Ezekiel. No, you know what? No, not Ezekiel. Where are you? Bear me 1 second. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1, and it says, remember now thy creator in the day of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And that's what's happening. All right. That's your economist. This economy is is is, is volatile, as they say. You know, so your economy and your economist are shaking in their boots right now. Let's get this in another version and see what it says. All right. Let's go to the BBE version, Ecclesiastes 12:3 again. And it says, and in the day when the keepers of the house are shaking for fear. And yeah, same wordage, but when you go into, let's actually get that. All right, let's go to etymology and let's look at economics. Because it's important to know these words and understand what's being said. Economics, this is etymology of the word, and it means pertaining to the management of a household. Economics. So what did it say in Ecclesiastes 12:3? And in the day when the keepers of the house are shaken for fear. So you could look at that from a macro level of economics and a micro level of economics. Who's the main keepers of houses? Who's the main one that kind of keeps the economics of a house flowing? A wife, the woman. And these women are they're shaking. All right? They're shaking. These women are, you go on YouTube and look up all these montages of videos showing women speaking to how expensive it is, how they're lonely, how all of these different elements. And that speaks to a micro level of economics, housekeeping here. You could say your home, your residence. And then the macro would be how is it affecting all of us? And that's how you actually judge economics. And the economically speaking, on a residential level, the civilians of America are struggling. All right, you got people out here financing groceries. That speaks to how destroyed this place is. You know, there's no reason where people should have to, like, imagine that you're paying interest on tomatoes and bananas and milk, things that expire. It expired a week ago, but you're paying interest on it 4 weeks later. Come on, man. This whole society is crumbling. So again, it says in that day when the keepers of the house are shaking for fear. So we were reading economics. So it says pertaining to the management of a household, economical, or from the Greek okomeos, if I'm saying that correctly. All right, practicing in the management of a household or a family. So that's what the word economics literally means. It means management of a household. So the house of Esau, the house of Babylon, is which is also known as America, is failing. It's failing. And anybody that says anything differently, you're probably just a bot. You're probably not real. You probably are an NPC. You're just a lot of different things, because the reality of the matter is that the mass majority of people out here are one flat tire away from their whole economical strength crumbling. A flat tire, a timing belt go out, something like that, something your AC go out, have you through. All right. So it says Port of Los Angeles says shipping volume will plummet 35% next week as China and tariffs start to bite. It is a precipitous drop in volume, with a number of major American retailers stopping all shipments from China based on tariffs, says Gene Sikora, executive director of the Port of Los Angeles. Shipments from China make up about 45% of the business from the ports. All right, so damn near half of all shipments that come into the busiest port in America comes from China. Do you understand? 45% of all shipments that goes into the busiest United States port, the port of Los Angeles, comes from China. So that means that you should expect whatever these items are, 45% of these items are 2.5 times the price coming into the port. That's why they're stopping it. That is why you have, let's get some more things. Bear me 1 second. Empty grocery shelves. Let's see. Oh, that'll work. Uh-oh, let's see. So you got this article from Forbes. What is today's date? Today. Forbes released this article today. And it says, empty shelves, empty retail. All right. Empty retail shelves could disrupt back to school and holiday shopping. All right. Key facts. The number of U.S. bound cargo ships from China are down about 40% from earlier this month, and they carry about 1/3 fewer containers since President Trump announced 145% tariffs on Chinese imports. So again, they're putting it off, of course, because they want you to they still got to make money off of you, all right? If you think that you're not going to see empty shelves before August and September, then, you're out of your mind, okay? So again, this is the hot topic right now, all right? Shelves are empty and will be empty, all right? I put a video on my page a few weeks ago. This lady was talking about how you go in these grocery stores now, they got a bunch of, as she called it, recession beverages. Just orange juice. Not orange juice, but orange juice, a blue juice, a purple juice in big plastic containers. These grocery stores are empty. It's all illusions. All right, take off the lenses and look in the grocery store really, and you'll see it's a lot of fluff. All right, it's a lot of fluff. All right, so again, let's get back to these scriptures. All right, let's go back to the King James, Ecclesiastes 12:3 again, and it says, "And in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves," right? What is that going into? "And the strong men shall bend down." Yeah, I was through the spirit. That's what's going to really happen. I'm going to keep saying this because this is what's going to happen, man. The Lord is about to break down you men. See, the Lord has already been through the spirit breaking down the men that are doing this walk, that are in this walk. You know, we been catching hell. Salakia. So I get some charge. Salakia. All right. Not charging through. It's all good. So again, turn the brightness down on this. So again, you men, you think that you have your strength and your 401ks, your pensions, your retirements. You think you have strength in your credit scores, your good jobs, your connections, all these things that you lean on to have strength. The Lord is about to break all that shit. That's why I was just in the spirit before I cut this lesson on. I was like, yeah, the Lord about to really bring that fire to you men. See, we in the spirit, we look at it and we be like, damn, women, these women, these women, these women, these women. Yeah, these women, they gonna get theirs. But see, through the spirit, how theirs come is by them losing whatever little strength they had in these beta ass men of theirs, these weak men. That's just the truth of the matter. They're gonna lose all of that. All of that little strength, these women are gonna lose that. But these men, you simp, you can't get over it. You can't get over you just are programmed to just worship the woman. You can't get over yourself. You can't control that. You can't see beyond the you can't see after outside of your Disney Prince and Charming, Knight and Charming, shining armor energy. You're gonna be one of the main ones that's just gonna get clipped out here. All right, all that. See, that's why the Lord, you know, he talked a lot of good stuff, but even so, you know, even that Kevin Samuels bullshit. You know, a lot of you men out here, you genuinely believe that you making a whole bunch of FRNs makes you somewhat better than the next man or whatever the case may be. And the Lord's gonna show you that you ain't shit with just a little bit more debt notes. The Lord gonna really bring that fire to a lot of you men. And watch, like I said, I believe another pandemic that's gonna be soon that is gonna have to be addressed is when all this shit start to happen. People gonna start unaliving themselves. Unaliving rates are about to skyrocket. You men don't have the strength to deal with adversity. You men be breaking down. You men be breaking down about things that be tiny, be really bitch-made shit. And then when you find yourself, the bitch in you comes out. The Lord gonna really, that's why the scriptures say in the strong man. And that's not talking about physical strength. That's talking about where you find strength in. Because see, at the end of the day, the only thing left for this society to do is the righteous men are gonna lean on the Lord. If you lean on anything else outside of that, the Lord gonna come and visit you. And he gonna try you and show you that, nigga, you thought that was some strength? All right? Matter of fact, let me pull up the next scripture while that's on my spirit. I got all these windows open. Salakia. Let's go to, what is that, Isaiah 32. No, that's good, but that's not what I want. Well, the scriptures speak about, I was looking for it, but about basically that staff shall pierce through your hand. Like whatever you think you're leaning on is going to start being against you. You know what I mean? Because the only thing you should be leaning on is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is the point. You know what I'm saying? But let's just finish this Ecclesiastes. No. I was getting a scripture. It's all good. It slipped my mind. It's all good. Let's go to, I guess I got a lot of windows on this tablet and it's throwing me off a little bit. It's all good. Where we at? We were at Ecclesiastes. There we go. And it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out windows shall be darkened. And they're already anticipating behind these tariffs. A lot more businesses are going to close down. A lot of things are about to go out of business. That's what they're anticipating. More hours are going to be cut. It's going to be less services. It's going to be less products to sell. You know, this is what's in the future. You know what I'm saying? So this is prophecy being fulfilled. You know, when you go, and then this is where you could tie this in, you know, to your Revelation, you know, the 13s, Revelation 17, 18, you know, where the merchants shall mourn because this place is being forsaken. And of course, that morning is when this place gets thoroughly destroyed, you know. But even so, this place is being forsaken. You can feel it in the spirit, you know. And these people, they don't want to see it because they're like ostriches, you know. They want to stick their head in the sand and you know, act like see no evil, hear no evil type energy, you know. Hey, the water, there we go. Isaiah 36. I knew it was in the 30s. The water. Let's go to Isaiah 36, and it was 6. And it reads, and lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go through his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him, the water. And all of you people still trying to trust in this American system, this president and all this BS, this is all going to come to bite all of you in the ass. All right? This devil is against all of you. He's thoroughly destroying this place. You know? See, that's another element of business that people ignore. Sometimes these devils will hire people to come in and do business to, like, that's what these private equity companies are doing. They're hiring these different figures to come in, assess the problem, see how they can strip whatever nutrients and money and all that they can out of it, and then let it collapse. And that's literally what they're doing to America. But y'all are still in this trusting the system. This system is literally coming against you rapidly. All right. See, all that joking, all this playing, all this scoffing, all this bullshit is about to disappear when the grocery stores start hitting you with prices that you can't even process. You know, I went into I was in Publix the other day, a local grocery store here. All right, let me get that in Revelation. All right, and I was just walking through getting my items, because hey, at this point, when you go into the grocery store, if you ain't got if you ain't got $40, $50 for just like one or two items, you might as well not even go in there. It's like $100 every time you go in the store. 60 on the low end. So I'm walking through the store and I see the turkey bacon. And when I say that packet of turkey bacon was $7.86, it caught my eye. It was $7.86, and I was like, yo, you know, just like these prices. You know, another day prior, I went in the store and I wanted some broccolini. And I'm getting some, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm ringing it up. Beep, beep. I'm like, that should say $8. I'm already at $8. And it's like, but that's everything. This is what everybody is feeling. You know what I'm saying? So what is that? Revelation 6. All right, Revelation 6 and 5. And it says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And behold, and I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. See, now, in modern days, we don't shop like that no more. You know? What do I mean? I'm going to move my phone because it's getting kind of warm here. All right. Now, when I remember back in the day, and some farmers markets you see this, but they used to have the scales on the in the grocery store. So you could, you know, I need a pound of this, or I need 3 pounds of collard greens, or, you know, you would weigh it up and by the price, which that's how pricing of all these goods are, is it's a per pound, a per ounce, or per gram measurement. So this what we're seeing here is what? This horse with scales, all right, a pair balance. And what is going into verse 6, and it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny. All right. Now let's see if I can get anything interesting on that. All right. Let's see what come up. A measure of wheat for a penny. Let's see some pictures or anything. Nothing that stands out. Let's see what they have here. I wonder what they say. Oh yeah, they on point here. So this is what's the scriptures say? So it says a measure of wheat for a penny, and it says Revelation 6, this is a commentary. Let's see what it says. It says, describes the direness of the circumstance. A penny represents a day's wage for one man, enough for 1 meal of wheat bread or 3 meals of barley. All right. Nothing is left for anyone else. The people described by the New World Order as unnecessary eaters, vast multitudes will die. Okay, so this is like some truthers, but they're not wrong. That's what it speaks to. It speaks to a dire thing. I saw this video and this guy was speaking about our obsession with Jacob's trouble. Well, it is an obsession. And we understand that it must happen before we can get to where we want to go to. So we look forward to it. And quite frankly, the mass majority of you people deserve a direness of circumstances. How are you living now? What are you doing in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai? Are you serving him? Are you praying to him? Are you doing anything that he asks you? And the majority of people are no. And that ain't talking about Jesus Christ. That's another God. I ain't talking about none of them other names. Those are idols and demons. That is not talking about the true Heavenly Father and his Son, who has a Hebrew name, which his name is Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, and his Son, Yahushai. All right? So, yeah, this is exactly what it is. That penny is going to go into what you know as supply. When you think of the definitions of supply and demand, let's see something. What happens when demand is higher than supply? See, these are economic things, all right? So this is basic supply and demand, all right? So let's just ask AI to read it, and it says, when demand is higher than supply, prices generally increase. This is because limited availability of a product or service can create a situation where consumers are willing to pay more to obtain it. The market tends to shift towards equilibrium as suppliers respond by producing more to meet the higher demand. But what's going to happen is this is where you get, my friends, a level of hyperinflation. All right. This is where your currencies collapse, because why? In this situation that America is going to find itself in, they're not going to be able to create suppliers to meet this demand. They're not. And that's not the plan. Their plan is to not. But they haven't told you that, Americans. All right. Think about it, a product. Let's say this is a bottle of water. All right. Right now, the demand for water, bottles of water, is normal. It's not hard to find water. If I want to go get another bottle of water, I can go buy it for a couple dollars and go in the house, turn the faucet on if I really need it, right? There's no shortage of it. Now take that out of hand, and let's just say there is no water out here. and I had a halfway drunk bottle of water, I could probably charge $10 or $100. But just this little bit of water because there isn't any. All right. And that's interesting of a point of, I know I'm jumping around, but that's fine. The Pakistani India war over water. All right. This is from 2 days ago. Panic in Pakistan as India vows to cut off water supply over Kashmir, if I'm saying that correctly. So this war between Pakistan and India is a modern day war over water. But the scriptures said that that there shall be wars and rumors of war. Think not that I come to send peace. There is war being popped off everywhere. Okay? Hey, shalom, shalom. All right? So again, as we're dealing with this shortages are going to lead to even war within the micro nations of America. All right? What do I mean by that? How the supplies get to Georgia might be different from how they get to Texas, and that's going to cause different stripes within said state. If you don't got water, you're going to be busting heads. They're going to be busting heads over water. If you can't get medicine and supplies and things of that nature, then, and at first, and even with this talk of 2 weeks from now, there was talks of medical supplies not getting to America. And if that happens, a lot of hospitals are going to be shutting down because you need supplies. See, here's the kicker. Revelation 6:6 again. And it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. Excuse me. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, which the oil and the wine is this truth. Okay? But nevertheless, what is it speaking on? We just said, where basically hyperinflation, where your money is worthless. And see, the best way I could explain, when I heard this, it changed my outlook on these things. They try to disconnect you from the formula. And what do I mean? You the person, from the formula of putting the value on the money. Hyperinflation is not that, because look at the bread. Bread is like $5 a loaf at this point, almost $10 in some cases. That bread didn't gain more value. They didn't put better flour in it. They didn't put better water in it. They didn't put better oil in it. They didn't increase the said value of it. What did decrease? Your value, as in your value to earn money. Your earning value is down. You are devalued. See, that's why, again, you got to see the play within the play. America is going out of business, but the corporation of America is tied to all of us. We all are tied into the corporation of America. So their goal is to not increase supplies for you people to continue to be fat fucks in America. That's not the goal here. They're decreasing this because they know that this level of stress is going to break a lot of people. This heat gonna cause, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. This heat gonna cause a lot of men to unalive themselves, man. A lot of men ain't gonna be able to deal. They will not deal. So like I say, when the supply is down and the demand is up, that creates a void where you're able to increase how much you charge. Imagine we're crossing lines, right? I wish I had a pen and a piece of paper. I would draw hood economics. Hold on, let me see what's on this damn. Let's see if I can do something. I'm gonna show you something. Okay. Give me 1 second. It's my chalkboard. All right. So bear me 1 second. I'm drawing. Let's just say this is. This is demand. This is supply. So demand is going up. So check this. This is my hood economic board. All right. Check me out. Now, if you see my marks, right? You got your demand line that's going up. And then your supply, this is your original. Let's just say this is your original. This is your original. This red dot is your original supply and demand. But what's happened? The supply isn't going down, but your demand, and imagine I haven't did this in a long time, so I could be could be not explaining it properly. But what happens is it creates a space which allows you now to say this, because the demand is high, like Jordans, Michael Jordan shoes, sneakers. You might say these shoes are regular price of $150, but because the demand is crazy and there's only 1,000 pairs, fuck that. We could charge 1,000 pairs and niggas will buy it. That creates a vacuum effect. This is where you're gonna start seeing, okay, you people you really want that Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever cereal. I don't know, I'm just using an example of, you really want said item, you want this item that bad? Okay, well, 2 weeks ago it was $5. They're gonna come back and be like, all right, it's $10. Shit. And the demand is still there. You think they're gonna now, we gotta produce more to balance that? No, that's not how they work. If you're willing to buy it, they're gonna continue to bring the price up. That's what's gonna happen. If you continue to buy it, they're gonna continue to bring the price up, because what they're gonna do is say, hey, this is just basic hustling. Like, that's how you know Esau is the ultimate hustler. If you said 5 of these, if it takes me 4 of these to get $20 at $5 a pop, but now within this price, okay, I could sell 2 of these at $10 a pop. So I had to do less work, less everything, and I still made the money. That's where these prices are going to balloon outrageously, in a way where you're gonna see the black horse in Revelation, the 6th chapter. And like it says, a day's wage for a little bit of food. All right. So I hope my little, hey, and really, you know what's so crazy in the spirit? When you look at this, if you remember with the eclipse that came across America, this is how it looked. Matter of fact, let's see if we can look that up. Let's see. I'm jumping all over the place, but hey, I'm just In the spirit, we talking about everything in the spirit, you know. Let's see, what was that? Hold on. Let's see. X over America eclipse. Yep, you remember? So, if you remember, man, come on, man, anybody trying to do all that? That glare is nasty. It's the same. It's the same as basically what I was showing. Come on now. Somewhat. So again, even with those eclipses and all of those different things that occurred, hey man, you know, the after effects that we're still waiting on. All right. And one of those things like I'm reading is outrageous pricing on food. Let's see what they say if anything comes up with hyperinflation in America. Hyperinflation in America. Okay. So this is from Forbes, and it says, don't think hyperinflation can happen in the U.S. Not so fast. And this came out last year. And it says, when a currency loses purchasing power, like I said, we are losing purchasing power as individuals in this place. You know, that's when you think about inflation, you should think about it from the element of you are having to work harder to get that same item. The item didn't get better. The item didn't gain $2 in value. You lost that in purchasing power, and you lost it. All right, at the rate greater than 50% per month, it is said to be experiencing hyperinflation. During such episodes, the essential role of money in binding societies together, often unnoticed in stable times, becomes strictly clear as civil order is strained or even shattered. The breakdown of the monetary system leads to widespread economic turmoil affecting every facet of daily life, from the affordability of goods, basic goods, to the stability of institutions. In the most serious case of total currency collapse, civil unrest and even violence became prevalent among a population desperate to acquire the necessities to survive. And that's where we are. All right. Now, are we there yet? No. But this place is in the HOV lane, all right, to hyperinflation. All right. When all these different things cook in, and don't forget the fact that people are denouncing the dollar around the globe. The dollar is no longer being prevailed or pushed as the strong world currency. A lot of countries are denouncing it. What does that mean? That's less American purchasing power. Then you throw in these trade wars. What's going to end up leading to is America's not going to be able to pay its debts. All right, you're going to start seeing America not being able actually have to shut down. Have a government shut down because they're not going to have the ability to make their bills, and then they're going to start losing their credit rate. See, America, economically speaking, you have to view how your economic system is, or the neighborhood of people, or the masses of people are, and that's your nation. Americans are losing because Americans are a consumer-based society. What does that make America? America, the corporation, is a consumer consumer corporation. It doesn't produce. All right. China got factories, got cities that like how we have cities here, like Houston. The whole city is factories and production. They are the world's factory. Remember, 15. I learned this recently. 15% of China's exports come to America. 15% of their total. 40, we just learned earlier, 45% of all exports or imports, excuse me, that come in to America, to the port of Los Angeles are Chinese goods. But everybody is in this mind frame of, you know, the art of the deal. China, you know, Trump's guy, China needs us. Okay. Okay. Y'all, we're gonna see how everybody holds up to these talking points. When, like I say, I can't even think of items, but imagine 80% of Walmart's prices were to double in 3 weeks. Because I believe I heard somewhere that majority of Walmart, 80% of damn near everything on the shelves in Walmart is from China. That's why That's why Target had a meeting with Trump the other day. That's why Walmart had a meeting with Trump the other day. That's why Home Depot had a meeting with Trump the other day, because they understand that. That's what they're saying. Hey, man, these shelves will be empty. And then boom, at the same time the shelves are empty, the natural state of supply and demand takes over. If you demand it, the price gonna shoot like a motherfucker. It's gonna shoot. And then you people are gonna cry about price gouging and shit like that. No, it's just the natural order of things. The price gouging is when there's a hurricane and a nigga taking advantage of you with gas, he's charging you $30 a gallon to get gas. That's price gouging. This is economics. This is tried and true points that we all are about to experience and witness, that even prophecy is based around. All right. Let me get another scripture going. Let's go to Isaiah 19. All right. There's Isaiah 19 and 14. And it says, "And the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." And that's what this place is. Perverse. What's that word perverse mean? All right. The etymology of the word perverse: wicked, unnatural, degenerate, perverse, contrary, turned away, contrary. So the natural order of a world is see, the natural order is you apply yourself to something, you work hard, you learn a skill, you get paid for that skill, you get honored in that skill, you so on and so forth. That's not the case here anymore. All right. In this world, you get punished for continuing your education. You get put in big. I just saw this lady the other day, Edomite lady. She said, man, she been paying her student loans for a good 30 years at this point, right? And she said she done paid like this. It was like she took it out. It was like $100,000 in student loans or some number. We'll just use 100,000. She had $100,000 in the beginning, and I think she's been paying it every month since, and she's paid 100,000. and she still owes like another X amount in just the interest. She's been paying on this for like 30 years. It was something crazy. So again, that's perverse. That's wicked. All right. It's contrary to investing in the people of your society. Everything. That's just one level of perverseness in it. You know, hard work does not pay off in this society. Hard workers get punished the most in this society. That's perverseness. That's contrary. That's upside down energy. You understand? So that's this place. It doesn't matter what move you make. It's places. It's assed backwards, and it's working against the system at this point. I saw a post the other day, an article that millennials, our age group, which is like late 20s to early 40s, they were blaming the fact that because our age group is now is mostly taking lunch to lunch. I'm gonna close up here in a second. Taking lunch to actually, I'm closing up in a few minutes, but you can go with me. Cut this air on anyway. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah. So again, it's it's perverse. Nothing's working. Everything is so. Again, that's what I was saying. The point. They workers are taking their lunch. They're not eating out. So the lunch more because you can't afford. Hey, I gotta make this. I gotta make this $20 stretch. I gotta make this $40 stretch. I gotta make sure, everybody eat. So I can't eat lunch. That's what's happening out here. So now that, like you said, somebody commented and said, basically, well, I thought it was because we were, getting, drinking Starbucks and eating avocado toast was to blame. See, it doesn't matter. If you eat out, it ain't gonna benefit this place. If you take your lunch to home, if you take food with you to work and save your money, it doesn't benefit this place anymore. That's why I say a lot of the way the Lord deals with biblical prophecy is you're supposed to gauge and redeem this place really through an economical lens too. That's why the apostles and elders always push you should be watching these different shows, NBC, these financial shows. I don't watch a lot of TV financial shows, but I see a lot on the internet. But you should have a somewhat understanding of these things. That's why I kind of spoke on supply and demand. When the demand of something shoots up, it naturally makes the price go up. So when the price goes up, it's going to go up until it reaches a level of hyperinflation. These price increases are going to cause the value of our dollar to drop. What else could it do? They're going further and further away from each other. You understand? Your purchasing power and the value of the currency are going in different directions of each other. This is how currencies collapse. This is how hyperinflation occurs. Because hyperinflation is a step to a currency collapsing. And here's where a lot of people aren't getting it. I'm driving now, but James the 5th chapter, ye rich men shall howl. Because a lot of people are going to wake up to the fact that the rich, the elite, and I'm not talking about no Jeff Bezos, not talking about no goddamn weirdo Elon Musk. I'm not talking about these weirdos, man. These are losers in the eyes of this. This is their children. It's Jeff and fucking Elon are pinky in the brain. They're little experiments of the elite. Not talking about them. We're talking about they're already trillionaires. They're already the wealthy. What they're not telling you, and then most people can't see, is that they are collapsing it on purpose. This is where, because again, Revelation, the 13th chapter, 16 on down, dealing with the mark of the beast and so on and so forth. That is really, that's dealing with economics as well. What do you think buying and selling is? That's economics. You're not going to economically be able to stand in this place unless you take the MOTB. That's why you got Nate and these other guys and these other camps dealing with the fact that the MOTB is got to be a digital currency, which is going to be the MOTB. Your CBDC. See, really, hey, through the spirit, I'm going to say this. IUIC, they had to change their breakdown because all that embargo talk shit was about to be proven wrong very quick. We're about to experience embargoes. But embargoes is not the MOTB. All right? The MOTB is when you are able to economically stand in this place no more without using their new deemed type of currency. That's what it is. You're not going to be able to buy or sell on a big level or a little level unless you have that mark. But they try to tiptoe around it with the whole, the digital currencies. No, that's part of it. See, dig this. We might deal with digital currencies for a second before it gets to that moment. That's not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast, the MOTB, is the RFID. That's because it says they put it in you. They're not going to put the Fed coin in you. The Fed coin is a step towards the MOTB. That's what's coming. All right? That's what's coming. A lot of people don't want to see it for what it is. They don't want to witness. They want to see no evil, hear no evil energy. With the fact that at the end of the day, this system is crumbling. It's crashing itself. They're crashing it, y'all. And they're going to push everybody to the point of killing. You thinking it is just because bad people. They are going to push the American citizens and world citizens. That's why you had what happened the other day, with Spain, Madrid, Belgium. Belgium was also part of that blackout. See what's happening on the other side of the world. They're not speaking going, I was hearing somebody. I won't even act like this is from my own. This is from me researching it and listening to somebody, a trusted voice I listen to on the internet. You got to understand a lot of this power. These countries are forming, they're forming unions and confederacies with each other. And a lot of this is where the energy is coming from. A lot of this is the Russian energy is going to certain places. That's why I say it's getting real. Shit is getting real with what's going on. But everybody keep playing. All you bitter Hebrew Israelites that take time out of your day to tell, and I'm mad, and that's why I'm not doing this no more. Okay. That's amazing. This is a lot of y'all's going to be a lot of y'all's last testimonies is what we're seeing. This all could change. Life as we know it could genuinely change within the next several weeks to months. I already brought out multiple articles and multiple things from these weren't end time. Whether you feel a way about certain article, conspiracy type alternative news sites. I read articles from Forbes, okay, The Economist. This is what they're saying. They're anticipating empty shelves. All right, this is going to lead to prices going up. All right? All of these stores get all of this shit from mainly China. Mainly. Okay, how long do you think, I'm about to park, how long do you think this place could manage? A third, what you go into the grocery store to buy right now on an average purchase goes from being, like I say, right now, I go in the grocery store for my family, get a pack of chicken, some vegetables, some beverages, toilet paper, a few essentials, right? 2 or 3 bags worth of items. That cost me like $60, $70, right? What if that same items jumped up from $60 to $70 to now it's $180, $200. It's $200 for the same 8 to 10 items that I just got a couple weeks ago for $70 is now $200. How long do you think that could last for people? I got a second. I might not be able to use this now because I'm out of Wi-Fi. Nah, I'm not gonna worry about it. I was gonna cut my hotspot on, but Luke 21:25 speaks about the stress of nations. You know, that's another sign. People are about to, like I said, this guy talking about we're obsessed with Jacob's trouble, man, and we've already been troubled, nigga. We ain't seen stress yet. We ain't seen trouble yet. We have not seen trouble yet. Like even right now, I'm in this plaza. It's a beat up plaza. There ain't much to it anyway, but even so, the nail shop is closed down. This little dancing hall is closed down. This used to be a massage therapist in there, closed down. You know, all these plazas are going out of business. These restaurants are going out of business. This is where we are, y'all. This is where you really got to redeem the time and see what the hell do you think is going to happen? You really believe that people are going to just what? Continue on for the what? How so? In the name of what? In the name of what? The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. How much poorer do you think you can get? Yeah, go to the store and prices are getting high. Exactly, yeah. These prices are already outrageous. How much more crazy do you think it get before people literally go lose their shit? This is why, like I said, I don't know about other regions, but I say here in Atlanta, this is why every grocery store has security. Every grocery store has security. Every grocery store damn near have police. Our grocery store have police in the front. Like the DeKalb County police be in the front of Publix. The security and the police be at Walmart. Because they know. But what's one motherfucker gonna do when the whole store runs out with a whole cart full of everything? That's where this is going to. It's like they said about hyperinflation. Civil unrest literally follows by. And like I said, you got on one side of the spectrum, the value of the dollar, the currency, and then you got the purchasing power. And the purchasing power and the value of the currency are running from each other. That's going to cause the currency itself to collapse, which will lead to you having to do what? Denounce this dollar. That's all that's going to happen. We're going to have to denounce the dollar and move on. But what do you think is going to move on to? The euro? The peso, what do you think it's going to be? They know this. This dollar is cooked. If you look it up, today the purchasing power of $100 is that of, it's like $3.89 or 97 cents or something. That's the purchasing power of $100. That's why today, man, when I was a child, you know, I'm 39 this year, but when you talk about in the 90s, man, somebody gave you $20, man, somebody gave you $100, shit. That was like getting $1,000. Then you got older and it was like, to have $1,000 used to feel like something. Then you even get to a point where you're in adulthood and $10,000 might be in your hand. And then that bitch be gone just as fast as 1,000. And it's not about your inability to handle money. It's the purchasing power. That's why saving money is a scam. And I'm about to close up here. There is no such thing as save. If you think you can save money, you're fooling yourself. Because, and I'm not talking about putting away some money, being responsible for an emergency. I'm not talking about that. But in the idea of you thinking you're going to save your money and make money off of it, the inflation is destroying that. You start out January 1st, 2025 with $1,000. The value of that $1,000 is not the same come 2026. It's not the same. So that they got you in a trick bag of money. This money is cankered. It's cancered. It's literally working against us. That's why I'm going to say this in closing. This is to the sincere men and women. You really, for the sanity of your mind, you really got to know what the Lord was saying to us when he said, our daily bread in the Lord's Prayer. Be happy if you made something. Understand if you didn't make nothing for the day. And understand greatly that the Lord got you. But keep pushing. But a lot of people, they're not going to have that understanding. And they're going to collapse with all the pressure. We about to go into the summer. There's heat. Niggas about to be mad. Niggas about to be pissed the fuck off that they power is off. Because power going to be more expensive. Water going to be more expensive. You understand? They're going to cut your hours. The food and supplies, you know, a lot of men out here got these annoying, antagonizing ass women next to them, and they're going to snap. That's why it's important in this time to exercise all the wisdom and be quiet, be mindful, stay the fuck out the way, because niggas is about to be filled of pressure, and they're going to be looking for ways to release that shit. That you on these jobs and you around these people, hey, you got it, man. I'll take the write-up. You got it. It's on the house. Fuck that. I ain't charging his crazy ass or her crazy ass. They're going to be crashing the fuck out. All right? So with that, I'm going to close this up. I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors unto my apostles, and I was a great millstone. Peace say to all you sincere Akim. Shalom to all you brothers that was in the thread and in the comment section, leaving comments and scriptures. The water, much appreciated. Shalom.